I have been an Usopp fan since the day I was born, and seeing what Netflix did to him really broke my heart. The One Piece live action has been out for some time now, and it's likely everyone has now had the chance to watch and savor it, unlike certain people who binged it all in a day because they had nothing going on in their lives. As a live action adaptation of an anime, I can say it definitely broke the trashy curse and was miles above most of the live actions we've seen. Everything from most of the fight scenes to most of the acting to most of the plot was just lovely. But, and a big but, I feel as if they really made the S in Usopp stand for disappointment. Not to say he was bad, he was just very mediocre, and I wish they could have done more with him. That's not to say Jacob Gibson didn't do a lovely job of bringing Usopp to life. So no, I'm not hating. I do understand the Netflix writers had to cut a lot, and I do mean a lot of content to just fit all of this One Piece action in 8 episodes, but with Usopp it seems he got the worst treatment. So I just felt the need to explain through a One Piece fan's perspective why I felt Netflix ruined Usopp. First things first, we have to start at Usopp's introduction in the Syrup Village arc. They managed to perfectly capture him as this big liar and coward, specifically the way they executed his boy who cried wolf moment, where he told the Marines and the villagers that Kuro was a pirate, but they all didn't believe him. I do have to say this was one of the better scenes in the live action, as you couldn't help but truly feel bad for Usopp. It also heightened the stakes of the arc, because now we are unsure on what Usopp's next move is. But he doesn't have a next move, and all we get to see is this cowardly liar. I get that he did tell Kaya and Kaya didn't believe him, but Nami entering the room within literal seconds and then confirming that he was actually telling the truth kinda removes any tension from that scene. By cutting out the pirate crew attacking the village, Django and the Usopp pirates, Usopp has almost zero involvement in this conflict, so it fails to get us attached to him as much as we did in the manga. The fact that Usopp was a borderline extra in all of this action is what annoys me the most. In the scene where Kuro was insulting Kaya and her parents, Usopp remains hidden while Nami and Kaya have a moment and decide to stand up for themselves despite them both knowing they are outclassed, because realistically, what are they going to do against Kuro? The scene was great though, as it added further layers to Kaya's character and built on Nami and Kaya's relationship in addition to the manga, as we didn't get to see much interaction between them. However, they could have also added a moment to showcase Usopp's bravery, as in the manga, Usopp punches Kuro not only once but twice. First, while his identity is unknown because he was disrespecting Usopp's father Usopp, and then again while Kuro was insulting Kaya's parents while she had a gun held at him. Even though he did miss the punch, the bravery and guts shown in that scene was admirable, because despite knowing his identity of being a fierce pirate captain, the courage to throw that punch just showed to us how much Usopp cares about Kaya while executing a perfect moment of both bravery and strength for Usopp and Kaya. But by cutting this moment out, we get Usopp, a man who is too afraid to stand up for his woman, while Nami wasn't. My next reason should be quite obvious, and it has to be the Usopp pirates. The pirates destined to conquer the Grand Line were MIA. Not a single crumb was seen of them, to my knowledge at least, and the worst fact is they managed to keep in Choo Choo the dog, and not the strongest pirate crew in the whole manga to this day. Cutting out this crew truly pushed me over the edge and ruined my experience. This was one of the main things I was looking forward to in the live action. Believe it or not, Usopp having this crew demonstrates to us his ability to be a captain, shown through his responsibility over his crew. First, through him lying to the Usopp pirates about Kuro's conversation with Django about attacking the village, and next when he gives them the order to protect Kaya instead of telling them to run away, as he knew they wouldn't listen if he just told them to run away, and then again when he defeats Django in order to protect Kaya and his crew. And finally, when he chooses to disband the crew and let them work towards their dreams. All of these events were fully cut out, so I feel bad for the Netflix viewers that don't really get to see the full Usopp and his different set of relationships. They are truly missing out on the Usopp experience. Another key big moment they cut out was Usopp not wanting to tell the villagers that pirates had attacked the village so they could continue living on their peaceful lives. In the manga, this was definitely one of the moments that solidified Usopp as one of my favorite characters, and I feel like it was a great way to end off the arc and continue with the theme of Usopp being a liar. The maddest thing is, they cut out all of that, but they kept Zoro climbing out of a well for a good amount of time. I get that some of these scenes would be less impactful because we have no pirates attacking the village, but it would still have more of an impact than all the other scenes we've seen during the live action. So now we know the most important parts cut from the original, and you might be thinking,
okay, but this doesn't really affect the Netflix story.
And to that, I respond, oh yes it does. Without these integral Usopp moments, Usopp joining the crew seems to be one of Luffy's random, ooh, let's make this guy join the crew because his dad left him, he looks cool, and he can shoot rice grains into the pots, instead of Luffy and Zoro's admiration of Usopp's bravery, guts, and of course his sniping ability as they both fought alongside him, showing them why he would be the perfect addition to their crew. Maybe the Netflix writers just had a different vision, and that vision was definitely a vision. This moves me perfectly into my next point, and it's about Usopp's dream. Dreams are an integral part of the One Piece story, and I was confused on why it was left so late to find out what Usopp's dream was. Due to Usopp being sidelined, we don't get to see his acts of bravery and his guts, giving us zero hints to what his dream or goal would be. I do like that they did take the route of making it seem as if he came to his dream after going to sea with the Straw Hat Pirates, by making him go last to announce it and making him hesitate a bit when all the other Straw Hats were announcing theirs. However, no hints, no build up, so it just seemed to me like blood was yapping. Finally, I do have a minor issue. It's not that deep, but after all my major criticisms, I wanted to end the video, you know, on a soft note, and that is Usopp, Usopp's father, doesn't notice his son's hair in Luffy's wanted poster. Instead of getting a moment to show, oh, he still thinks about his son, we got a corny line saying, I guess we better watch our backs. My cringe was immeasurable. I would have appreciated even a slight expression of shock or something, but other than that, the bouncy reactions were perfectly executed, and maybe they just wanted his dad to seem like a level 100 deadbeat. To end this, none of this really bugs me, as just getting a Netflix adaptation of one of my favorite series is crazy, and I am impressed the way they were able to capture all the characters and scenes in the manga almost perfectly. Although I do think of the Netflix adaptation as like a different subpar timeline, and I low-key really enjoyed most parts, but I will say that if a season 2 does happen, and I've seen an announcement for it happening, they have many chances to improve God D Usopp and build on him more than they did in season 1. Let me know in the comments whether you agree or disagree with my takes. I'd love to know how you all felt about the live action.